Bree has been here at StruXi since she finished school in 2015. She was one of 2 applicants. Bree is the one who has stuck it out, I'd like to say. She was originally accepted to study architecture at University of Queensland out of school. She didn't want to leave Toowoomba at that point in time, so she decided to come and work for us as a cadet building designer. She then transitioned into being what is probably best described as my personal assistant. It's not a job that I really think anybody aspires to be. I can be a little demanding, I can be a little grumpy. What it did for Bree was it gave her an insight into everything that we do in the business. Finding projects, managing clients, managing projects, doing the background research long before we start design. And that, I think, after she'd done that for 12 months or thereabouts, that sort of reinvigorated her to decide to go back and take up her studies. She did that for 12 months. She was missing the contact time because that was an external course, so there was no real interaction with students or lecturers, and that prompted her, I guess, to change again to QUT, where she was able to enrol in face-to-face teaching, but at a reduced workload, so that she was able to work here 3 days a week and go to university 2 days a week. That has seen her advance, I guess, fairly rapidly in her skills and abilities. She had the background of understanding how the client side of projects went together. She's got an innate understanding or a vision for how things need to look that I'm not sure that is able to be taught. I think that's one of those things that you've got or you don't have. She's certainly developing to be a very decent designer. As projects have come along, I want to give more and more ownership of those projects to the younger staff. This particular project, the visitor centre for Warwick Solar Farm, Bree became the lead on. It was the first project that I had really just handed over to her and said, well, okay, this is your project. I want you to do this the way you want to do it. Obviously, we're still here to provide the level of support and guidance that she needed. It was a really good project to get her teeth into, because it was one that we took from the very beginning of conceptual design through to construction documentation, through the tender process, and then through construction management. The design outcome has been really good, and she's got to experience that next level of managing a project from start to finish. That sort of confirmed to me that she's got the ability to do that. Since that project, I've thrown her in the deep end on a couple of other jobs that, again, she's performed exceptionally well, both in the design outcome and in the management of clients and contractors and sub-consultants as we go through. So that's been really pleasing for me.
I'm really passionate about understanding our clients, knowing their needs, making sure that we create a space that is pretty much going to make their life easier. I love understanding people, how the spaces relate to them, and how they use them and their experience. That's what I really love about it. Recent projects I've worked on would be the visitor centre out at Warwick Solar Farm that we did for an amazing client. They do some great work. And Tara Studios was another one. I love reusing existing buildings, so that was a really great project. And Carnival Lane, that was a really good public project, which I think the community is using really well. And Fitzy's is going to be a good one. The solar farm is all about connecting the university and the community. It's really to help the community understand how the solar farm runs, how it works, the work that they're doing, and I suppose the offset that the university is creating. But also be enjoyable. That project has a really great outlook over the solar farm, and I think that was a major part, was just making sure that someone can walk through that door and appreciate the work that the university is doing. And I think we did that really well. I think the most rewarding thing about the solar farm is just how happy the clients are. You know, it produced some really amazing outcomes, and they are just so happy with the space. It's so flexible, and I think that's what it's really all about. Next year I will be completing my bachelor, so I will have a Bachelor of Architecture. Hopefully in 2 to 3 years I will have at least started my Masters or be almost complete my Masters, which would be amazing. I see myself still here at StruXi, and I'm already starting to take on more of a project leader role, and I think that that's going to continue to develop, and I'm really excited.